Hello everybody, Crow back again with another game in my collection. This is Video Olympics for the Atari 2600 or VCS, however you want to call it. This is essentially Pong. In fact, the Sears version of this is called Pong Sports. And I don't have the box or anything, I just have the cartridge. But again, this is a fairly common game. And if you have an Atari 2600 and you have a pair of paddles, odds are you have this game too, because it is a cheap game. Almost everybody has it that I could remember. And being Pong, it's just Pong. It's different variations of Pong. Although if you did look at the box, if you had it, it would say there's 50 different games. Or what does it say? Say 50 different video games. And that's not necessarily true. There are 50 different variations. Actually, there's 9 main variations of Pong, each with their own separate sub-variation. This is the map and layout of games like I showed for Combat. I had one of these. This has even more variations, so you absolutely need this when you're selecting a game, I think, just so you know what you're playing. But there's 8 different variations of Pong, so that's just flat out Pong. I think everybody knows what Pong is. And 4 of those variations are for 4 players. But, so yeah, games 3 and 4 are what we played. 2 people each, so these are the ones I'm used to playing. One is called Speed Up and one is called Whammy. I'm not sure what Whammy is. We only played Speed Up, where the longer you play, the faster it speeds up. And that's the way I usually play. I guess I could have looked up what Whammy meant beforehand, but honestly don't remember. I think holding down the button, the paddle button, while you're using the paddles is what causes the ball to speed up. And then we have games 9 through 12, which were Super Pong. And what's Super Pong? Well, it's just really standard Pong, except you get 2 paddles instead of 1. So you have the same variations there, Speed Up and Whammy. This is where it starts getting creative, because we have soccer. And soccer is basically just Pong again, except you've got, instead of an open area right behind you, there's only a little area opening behind you. And supposedly you're like the goalie, and you have to hit the ball in that certain area past the goalie. So it's again just Pong, a different variation of Pong, but they're getting creative. And then once after soccer, we got foosball. And foosball, you got like a whole row of characters like you would have like in foosball. And again, it's just Pong with lots and lots of paddles. Games 23 through 32 are all hockey. Again, you can see the creativity here. Instead, they moved the goals out from the walls, and so you have the hockey nets. And again, it's just Pong, but with a slight different variation, a slightly different way to score, and you've got a whole new sport there. Now with Quadra-Pong, there are actually 2 different variations, but both variations require 4 players. So me and my wife actually played this without players 3 and 4. So the footage you're seeing is just the 2 paddles, and if there were players 3 and 4, they would take their positions on the left and the right side of the screen to block the goal there. But yeah, it's basically a team sport, not free-for-all. So, it's one team pitted against the other team. So it kind of works with 2 players as well. Alright, next sport up is handball. And I actually don't recognize this as handball. I more or less recognize it as racquetball. And that's because, you know, the one player serves, hits the wall, and then the other player has to hit the ball. And it's the player that is actually not flashing is the one that is hitting the ball. So it's basically saying if you're flashing, it's not your turn. And after your opponent hits the ball and it hits the wall, then it's your turn. If your opponent misses, then you gain a point. And that's basically how that works. And now we got volleyball. You've got the net in the middle, and you've got the paddles, and the ball actually has different physics in this game. It bounces, and if you hit the paddle, it's like you're jumping up in the air. You got to be careful though, because if you hit the button right before you're about to catch the ball, you'll flip up in the air, and nothing will catch the ball, and you'll lose a point. But honestly, even as a kid, I never liked this variation of Pong. It is kind of fun when you get a rhythm going, but if the ball touches the net, you lose a point. It's just kind of difficult. Games 43 through 50 are basketball, and this is the absolute worst of the bunch, I think. I just never could understand this version of the game. Are you supposed to dribble the ball to make it go higher? Are you hold the button down to make the ball go higher? Not sure. There's different variations of that too. Whammy, catch, and jump. Well, I guess there are a version where you could jump the ball, but I think we're playing game number 43, and nothing you do with the button actually does anything. I think jump actually works the best, but I didn't play that. But again, it's very hard to score. The game could go on forever, because all of these games end once a certain point limit is met. It's not based on time like some other Atari 2600 games are. This one goes by points, and you have to, if nobody's scoring, game could last forever. But it works out for like Pong and the other variations, because eventually someone always does score, especially if the ball's going faster and faster. But again, Video Olympics is a game from my childhood, and it's still fun today. It really is. So that is why Video Olympics is still in my collection. Thanks everyone for watching. See you all next time. Bye.